be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's up? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to Rhonda's Real Talk. Today is Sunday. It's October 8th, and I'm in the kitchen about to make some vegan soul food. Today, I'll be making collard greens and cabbage together, some yams, and I'm also going to marinate some portobello mushrooms and put them on the grill. Now, the mushrooms are going to be like the meat, air quotes, in this dish. As far as the greens go, so usually when I make my greens, they're meatless. I've used meat a few times, but for the most part, I end up not using meat. And as far as the yams go, I'm actually really excited about making the yams because I want to make a healthier version of yams and also a version that's not so sweet, because I'm not a huge fan of like yams, and I really want to love them. I do. But in most instances when I've had them, they've just been too sweet. So I usually eat like a bite or two and I'm done. Or I just don't have a whole lot on my plate. So yeah, so I'll be using some date syrup, coconut aminos, and we're gonna see how it turns out. So let's go ahead, let's get to cooking. So I'm going to start things off with the portobello mushrooms because I want to give them a chance to marinate while I work on the collard greens and the candy yams. So I washed the mushrooms off and I removed as much excess water as I could. So I'm starting things off with some olive oil and I'm adding in jerk seasoning. You can use whatever kind of all-purpose or any other spice blends that you like. And of course, I got to go in and make sure that I rub in the seasoning because I want to make sure that this has a lot of flavor. So I'm going to set those to the side and move on to the greens. Now that I've removed the stems and cut the greens up, this is what I like my greens to look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the cabbage. Going to get that cut up. I'm going to focus on the darker part of the cabbage. I'm going to save these pieces for later. I might make a stir fry or maybe even a soup. So now it's time to go ahead and clean the greens and the cabbage. Going to put it in some cold salt water, give it a chance to soak for a few minutes, and then I'll rinse it off a few times. It is now time to start cooking the greens and the cabbage. I'm going to start off with a medium-sized onion, and I'm going to add in a tablespoon of minced garlic. I'm going to let this saute and cook down for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add the greens and the cabbage to the pot. Here are the seasonings that I will be using. So this is a tablespoon of jalapeno garlic pepper and all-purpose, and a teaspoon of crushed red pepper, black pepper, and Kingsford garlic and herb all-purpose seasoning. The next step, I'm going to add in some veggie broth. And the final step for this process, I'm going to add in half a teaspoon of some liquid smoke to add some smokiness. Now I'm going to put the top on the pot and let this cook for about 40 minutes. I started cutting before I started filming, but I did start with 2 sweet potatoes. They're medium size. Once I get those cut up, it's time for the sauce. This is 1 cup of coconut aminos. And I'm also going to add in 2 tablespoons of date syrup. Next up, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And once I get the cinnamon in there, I'm going to whisk this together and also give it a taste test. The taste is definitely coming along, but one final thing, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of monk fruit. After adding the sauce, I also added 3 pats of vegan butter and then placed this in a 400-degree oven. And it is now time to check on our greens. It has been 40 minutes. I gave it a taste test. Now to enhance the flavor, I added a sprinkle of salt, and I also added in some hot sauce. This is Texas Pete. You can use your favorite hot sauce or don't use the hot sauce at all. So now I'm gonna go ahead and let this cook for another 20 minutes. It is now time to make the portobello mushrooms. My indoor grill is set to 445 degrees. And I started off with some olive oil, added the mushrooms to the grill, cooked them on both sides for about 6 or 7 minutes. Every grill will be different, so you may need more time or less time, but this is how they turned out. The greens and cabbage are all done. This is how they look after cooking for an hour. And these are the candy yams. I let them cook for 45 minutes. All right, y'all, it is now time for the taste test. Time to taste everything. That date syrup got these yams real dark, right? They are very dark, but that's all right though. I'm gonna start with the yams, matter of fact. Cooked perfectly, sticky. Let me tell you what I love about it. It's not super sweet. I like it. Okay, yeah. I love that it's not too sweet, y'all. I want to try it with the greens. And the greens got some heat on them. My greens usually aren't this spicy, but I like the kick though. That crushed red pepper, perfect. Mushroom. I love mushrooms, y'all. Love, love, love. The yams were what I was most excited about making. And I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I would give this a 7.5. I'm really pleased with the way that these turned out. Okay, look, y'all. So before I get up out of here, the date syrup, the coconut aminos, the smokeless indoor grill, they're all linked below on my Amazon store. You can find the coconut aminos and the date syrup. You can find that under sauces in my Amazon store. And then the smokeless grill is under apartment finds. And you'll see everything else that I have in my apartment. If you're looking for anything else that you may have seen in the past, it's all linked there below. I mess with date syrup. I like it a lot. I've used it on pancakes. I put it in smoothies. I've used it for other marinades as well. And I'm really glad that I thought to think to put it in a recipe for yams. I'm not mad. You know, it's a great replacement for like sugar and stuff. Things that you want to sweeten. It's like a really good option. So, all right, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. If you enjoyed the video, give it a big thumbs up. I'll meet y'all in the comments. Make the best of the day. Be good to yourself, y'all. Peace.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.